It rained again. It's just straight up dripping from the door panel at this point. I mean, look, it's coming right out of the door. We'll get that fixed up, no problem. It's cold, it's wet, and it's raining. Been having a new issue with the car. Every time it rains, there's a nice little puddle of water on the driver's side floor mats. Just give you a look, and I think I finally figured out where it's coming from. So as you can see, usually there's going to be some water in here, but right here, water's dripping onto this thing here, and it's coming down here. So this side is wet, and all down here soaked, absolutely soaked. I put the floor mat over there just to see if it would dry out, but it's been raining for like 3 days, and I think it's coming from underneath the door panel. Not sure if you guys can see this. You can kind of see some droplets down here, but in there, it's kind of separated itself, and you know, I think it's the vapor barrier. So when I first bought the car, I noticed that the door panel was basically halfway off. I don't know if it's the clips or whatever, but I never had any issues with leaks until about a week or two ago. So originally I thought it was the seals, and someone in the forums, or the Facebook group rather, said, hey, check your vapor barrier. And I said, oh, I didn't even think of that. So that's what I did, and it seems as that's the problem. So bought the parts from FCP Euro. Overall, it's about $100 fix. I'm doing 100% everything new and correct, as always, as we do on this channel. We don't skimp out on anything. So I'm going to show you the proper way to do it. You could, in theory, just buy the butyl tape and just reseal the bottom. What happens with these things is, look, this car is from 2011. This thing is old, and it's like a foam. It gets real hot. It gets cold. It cracks. It peels. The whole thing. You want to replace the entire vapor barrier. If you just put the butyl tape, which, by the way, the butyl tape alone is $30, which is absurd. I went with OEM because, you know, pay once and that's it, instead of paying 5 times to fix it. But you could, in theory, just buy butyl tape and seal it up again, but just replace the whole thing. It's $100. It's not that big of a deal. And you know, there's water on my carpets. It's, you know, it's gonna get moldy. It's gonna get crusty. You really don't want that. So let's begin. It's been almost 3 months since I ordered this tape. Finally came in yesterday. And actually, BMW wasn't going to give it to me. BMW is actually sold out of this worldwide. And the dealership was going to keep this for themselves because they need it for their clients. But luckily, my friend is a tech there. And he was like, oh, hell no, you're going to give that to Zach. And luckily, I was able to get it. But anyway, got the tape. Took the door panel off. And immediately, I found the issue. I mean, this is barely secured. The tape has completely failed here. So someone was definitely in here before. But anyway, we're gonna peel this off carefully, not to damage any of the wires, and I'll get back to you. So now that we got it off, you want to notice how the tape was from the factory. So it's one strip that starts in this corner here. It goes all the way down. One strip, I broke that. One strip all the way up until it gets here. There's a space here. Then there you put the line right there. Another line until the gap here. And then this is where we started. Now, the reason for the space here and the space here is because of the wires that have to come through, as you can see here and here. Be careful taking this thing off if you're gonna reuse it. I bought a new one, so I kind of just ripped it off. But if you did not buy a new one, be very, very careful, because if you rip it, you're done and you're gonna have to buy a new one, or else you're not gonna fix the problem. Here's a cool hack to get this done quicker. Butyl tape sticks to butyl tape, so I've been taking it off, clumping it up like this. If I'm stuck and I can't get something off, watch this. You just push it on there and pull, and then it will come up easily. I mean, this stuff is so, look at that. Oh my God, it's nuts. But use the butyl tape to your advantage to take it off. It goes a lot quicker. So it's been raining for 2 days straight, but the door panel's off. So now you can actually see where the water gets in. I have not opened this door in 2 days, and you can see exactly where it's getting in. So this is what the vapor barrier prevents. It's not that much, but it still makes an impact. Sometimes when you have nowhere to go, you gotta be a little creative. So here's an office building parking garage, and I have all the room in the world to work. And this is where I'm gonna finish it up. The lighting's not the best in here, but it's also not bad. This is a cool spot. Just finish her up. Might do all my work here. So I put the tape around it, forgot to film, my apologies. And now the foam barrier, you want to make sure you put this through. It has a nice spot for it. Put this one through as well, it has a nice spot. And then you want to go around the whole perimeter and really push it on there to make sure it's a perfectly sealed fit. And then should be good to go. And it is done. I cleaned it up too. All the clips are where they need to be. Underneath, there's no gap like there was before. It is perfect. Took me whole thing start to finish, maybe 1.5 to 2 hours, but I was really taking my time. You could probably do it in an hour if you really wanted to. A few things to note. Number one, my door closes without like a little chatter, which is awesome because before it really wasn't working properly. Second, the reason that happens in the first place is probably because I took a look at the dealer records and it looks like my window regulator was replaced. And the dealer, keep in mind, this is a BMW dealership that did this work. They did not replace the butyl tape. That is a one-time use. It is in the manual that needs to be replaced every single time you take the vapor barrier off. They did not do that. Goes to show that BMW dealerships are garbage. You ever hear your father or grandfather say, oh, you got to go to the dealership, they do the best work? Lies. They do horrible work. Terrible. Probably the worst work, unless you're at like a high-end dealer like a Porsche or, you know, a Lamborghini or whatever. Anyway, putting my ranting aside, that's how it happened in the first place. They replaced the window regulator and they did not replace the butyl tape. You could see the dirt and debris was on the butyl tape, which ruined its stickiness. So it did need to be replaced. Another thing to note, the door panel clips. This is an interesting one. I've learned this over having an E36, which is known for this, E46, you know, the whole thing. Door panel clips are also kind of one-time use because when they snap in, they compress. And when you take them out, yes, I mean, if they don't break, in theory, you could use them again, but they're not going to clip back in the same way they did the first time because they've already been compressed once. So keep in mind, you should buy a whole set of door panel clips. I believe there's 8, if I'm not mistaken. So I would definitely do that to have the tightest seal. The reason my door panel wasn't on properly, again, the dealership did this work, a BMW dealership, was because they did not replace the door clips. And they gave this car back to the customer, this was prior to my ownership, with a wobbly door panel. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. That's ridiculous. So again, try to do everything yourself. Try to do it right because the dealership will not. That is a guarantee. Forgot to film the outro. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. It really helps the channel. Looking to get to 500 subscribers this year. And until next time, peace.